let's talk about the secondary. Lot of interceptions. These guys keep piling it up. We also saw Dennis Allen mix it up a little bit with some blitzes today as well. Use Kyler Gordon a little bit more, I thought, in that area. What did you learn post game?
That this energy is contagious in the secondary, and that's not just the takeaways, the interceptions, the plays on the ball. It's the aggression after the quarterback. We were talking about this before the game about how Dennis Allen could open it up a little bit more with Kyler Gordon back in his second game since his injury. And they did. They attacked Spencer Rattler in different ways, especially early on. I think the Saints had trouble really identifying who was coming. Was it Brisker? Was it Gordon? They showed that a lot, sometimes on the same side of the line. They didn't know who was coming. And obviously both of them are very good at blitzing, getting to the quarterback, and being physical at that point of contact. So the takeaways, guys, they love it. It's contagious. They're all competing. Who can get the next interception? It's something that Al Harris preaches continuously to them. But at the same time, that aggression, that aggressiveness, the physicality, I think that's contagious as well.
Well, I think another big development we've had over these last couple games is the run defense. What are your thoughts there? Because it feels like Andrew Billings, the emergence of Shamar Turner, they're moving him all around the defensive line. It feels like they're really finding a way to make teams one-dimensional and not being able to run as successfully, especially inside the tackles.
Yeah, and getting TJ Edwards back, having him at the mic, I think has been a key part of that as well. Maybe it's just personnel and Dennis Allen learning where everybody works best in his system. And it's taken him a few weeks to get to this point. We talked about the adjustments that Ben Johnson made coming out of the bye week. I think Dennis Allen deserves some credit too. This run defense has been outstanding since the bye week, and they've had to face a really good run offense in Washington last week, and then obviously a Alvin Kamara here at Soldier Field. So, Braggs, everything you said there is right. It's true. I want to throw TJ Edwards in that mix and really give Dennis Allen a lot of credit for whatever he's doing, whatever he's calling to shut down opposing run offenses.
That Dennis Allen point, did he do we get a sense that this meant a little extra to him, and maybe he's letting that out now after the game?
No, it was safety Kevin Byard who revealed that throughout the week, Dennis Allen never really brought up the Saints, and just in terms of his history there and what this game could mean to him. But then Byard goes, look, I've been in this league a long time. I'm a veteran. I know better. I know what this game meant to Dennis Allen. And I think you saw it early on with the blitzes he was dialing up, the way that the Bears were flying to the football, the way they were attacking the ball in the air. They wanted this game for Dennis Allen. So we talk about just the chemistry, the camaraderie that's building under Dennis Allen. I think it's there. It's under there. Of course it's there under Ben Johnson. I think we're all seeing signs of that, 4 wins in a row. But what's building on defensively with the takeaways and now the sacks, like this is something as well.
And Johnsy, on the other side of the ball, the weirdest play of the game was that botched snap with Dahlman. Can you talk a little bit about that, if you heard anything from the locker room about that?
Yeah, Drew Dahlman, talked to him in the locker room, and he is blaming himself for everything. He was on the second one, right? It would be the second one where he snapped the ball and got lucky with the false start, right? Or he snapped it to himself. I'm forgetting them because there was a few in a row there, but or it felt like there was a few for Drew Dahlman. But he was blaming himself for being on the wrong cadence and everybody else being on the right cadence. So you like to hear that from your veteran leader, from your high-priced center. It's not good. Obviously, something is off. Maybe there's something more to this, but Drew Dahlman, being the professional that he is, he fell on the sword for everybody. He told us in the locker room that he was on the wrong cadence on that snap to himself when everybody else was on the right cadence.
Jahns, you're a veteran. You've been doing this for a long time. Do you think that is Drew Dahlman falling on the sword for his quarterback, or do you think that he's really saying it's his fault?
My instincts want to tell me that it's a veteran player it's a veteran center protecting his quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what's happening here. We saw other false starts. Theo Benedict had one. The tight ends had a couple more. And I do think this is a lot of players trying to get on the same page, trying to get a read on the cadence, trying to get a jump on their own cadence to get a good, break off the ball, and they're just not getting it for whatever reason. So that's what my instincts tell me, but I also want to trust Drew Dahlman in this. So maybe there was a combination of both. Maybe there's more here than Dahlman wanted to reveal. He didn't want to go too far into it, but that's what my instincts tell me. You have a veteran center protecting his young quarterback on and off the field.
I bet he didn't want to go too far into it. It's kind of confusing, honestly.
It seemed like on one of the plays, Dahlman and the guard were moving at the same time. So it seems like maybe it was a cadence issue on one of them, but obviously protecting his quarterback, he's getting all the scrutiny. So hats off, veteran player, taking that one.
Well, and Cole Kmet had a false start today, and he got taken out of the field, and you saw him going to the sidelines. And I've never seen Cole, basically talking to the coaches open, what do you explaining why he did what he did.
But on that one, he was the only one that moved.
Right.
So it's been confusing. It continues to be confusing. I'm sure the head coaches continue to be baffled by it. Jahns, finally, before we let you go, it was a windy day at Soldier Field. It started rainy. The sun was out by the end of the game, but it seemed like the wind was switching up, sometimes gusting, sometimes not. How did Jake Moody handle all that?
Jake Moody first said the footing was good at Soldier Field, so that's a win for the grounds crew here in downtown Chicago. Number two, he described a windy situation that seemed to change per possession, sometimes during a possession. So every TV timeout, every opportunity that he could get, he took the field and threw a bunch of grass in the air to try to get a read for how the wind was changing, or at least on that moment. So he took the field a lot when he had the opportunity to figure out the wind. And I asked him, was there a certain kick where you had to adjust to the wind more than others? He said no. He goes, I was aiming down the middle most of the time, almost every time, just to play it safe, because it was so unpredictable and how the wind was going to maybe shift his kick. But he never thought, at least the feeling I got from him, that the wind was strong enough to where it would really move his kick completely out of direction. He thought having a wet ball, being heavier, that would change the trajectory a little bit and maybe cut through the wind a bit. So maybe you saw that. But that's more special team stuff I know you could get into if you wanted to talk to him.
Well, Johnsy, do we have to, it's not like I really want to do this, but the reason that the grass that Moody was able to pick up and throw and into the air, that he had that grass, is because of Matt Eberflus. He put down the turf. And on a rainy day, Hogue, maybe Matt Eberflus is really the unsung hero of today's victory.
Time out. Weren't you just ripping on Matt Eberflus in the pregame show a few hours ago?
Well, I know. I just said that he was afraid of his own shadow, which is true. But he also did put the grass down. And the grass mattered today. Soldier Field held up, and the Bears won.
He did fix the turf. I give it to him.
Flus.
It was worth it.
I'd write about that if I were you at lchgo.com, but you probably have something else going on.
One final question from me, Jahns, and obviously the last couple wins in Vegas and against Washington were, thrilling end of game victories. Locker rooms out of their minds. I'm just curious about the temperament of the locker room today. Dominant on a few different fronts, but sloppy in others. Playing a team they probably expected to win, so I'm just curious kind of what it felt like in that locker room.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys had this feeling in the studio when the Saints score their 2 touchdowns. You have that feeling of oh no, here we go again. We've lived this one before, where an inferior opponent somehow rallies because guys are getting injured, there's mistakes, there's blown coverages. The momentum has shifted. But then the defense, I really think that's the story of the day. The defense, in the running game, working together. I mean, this is straight out of the Lovie Smith era of football. Defensive takeaways. The Bears got off the bus running, and the quarterback play was kind of somewhere in the middle. Not great. So they won behind their defense. They won because they controlled the clock. They controlled the line of scrimmage with their offensive line and that ground game. Lovie Smith definitely would be proud of this one. But the temperament in the locker room, I think it's confident right now, Braggs. They're feeling good. They had a few wild, crazy wins, a couple of those. But then this one, I think they just felt like they were the better team from start to finish. And I think the final margin shows that they were.